The sky over Earth grew dark as massive ships descended from the heavens. These weren't just ordinary crafts. They were the heralds of an alien empire, one that had conquered countless worlds, and now their sights were set on Earth. The last remaining beacon of human hope. The aliens, with their terrifyingly advanced technology, had systematically wiped out every resistance they encountered across the galaxy. And now, it was humanity's turn. The first signs of the invasion had been subtle. Small scout ships that barely registered on human radars. But within hours, the skies turned black as the massive motherships appeared, each one larger than anything humanity had ever built. The sheer size of the ships cast enormous shadows over the cities below. They brought with them hundreds of dreadnoughts, armored and formidable warships that could lay waste to entire civilizations, each one equipped with energy shields that could deflect the most advanced human weapons, and cloaking technology that made them nearly invisible to all but the most sophisticated tracking systems. On Earth, the human forces, already strained and overextended from previous skirmishes, were in chaos. The world's best military had rallied to defend their home, but they were hopelessly outclassed. Their weapons were ineffective against the invaders' shields, and their fighter jets were no match for the alien spacecraft. Cities were burning, skyscrapers crumbled into rubble, and soldiers could only watch in disbelief as their weapons did little more than scratch the surface of the alien vessels. In the cities below, the human resistance was faltering. Soldiers on the ground were fighting with everything they had, but against the sheer might of the alien technology, their efforts were futile. The once proud armies of Earth were reduced to desperate, disorganized groups, fleeing from the relentless barrage of laser fire. No matter where they turned, they faced annihilation. The aliens advanced mercilessly, using their superior cloaking devices to slip past human defenses, striking wherever they pleased. The ground forces were obliterated one by one, with no way to stop the invaders. The alien ships hovered over every major city, taking their time to destroy Earth's last hope. At this moment, humanity was on the verge of extinction. The aliens had been methodical, wiping out any chance of resistance, leaving Earth's forces cornered with no escape. In the chaos, many had already given up. But even in the darkest hour, there was a secret that the invaders were unaware of. Deep underground, hidden from the eyes of the alien forces, a secret government facility came to life. This facility had been built in complete secrecy, its purpose known only to a select few. The aliens, with all their technology, had never detected it. Inside, humanity had been preparing for the worst-case scenario, the day the alien threat would come to Earth. But what the invaders didn't know was that this day had already come. The secret facility housed the last line of defense for humanity, a team of soldiers unlike any other. These were not ordinary men and women, but elite warriors who had been genetically enhanced with AI-driven abilities, making them faster, stronger, and smarter than any human could ever be. The soldiers within this hidden base were not only equipped with the most advanced human technology, but also had access to weapons that were far beyond anything the aliens had encountered. These soldiers were trained for one mission, and one mission only: to protect Earth and take back their planet from the invaders. They were the Earth's final hope, and now, as the invasion intensified, the time had come for them to make their move. But the rest of the world had no idea this force existed. To the aliens, it was a mystery. They believed that Earth's defense had been completely wiped out, leaving only destruction in their wake. They had no idea that within this underground base, humanity's finest were preparing to strike. The tension grew as the elite soldiers, cloaked in invisibility, made their way to the surface. They were ready to fight for their home, to prove that humanity was not going down without a fight. As the soldiers emerged from the hidden facility, the alien forces were still unaware of their existence. The aliens had spent so much time focused on overwhelming Earth's surface defenses that they had never once considered the possibility of a secret, powerful human force lurking beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to strike. This was humanity's secret weapon, the last chance for Earth to survive. The human soldiers, now equipped with cloaking technology, prepared to launch their first attack. They had one shot at this. If they failed, it would be the end. The gravity of the situation was not lost on them. They were walking into the heart of an alien empire, where their only advantage was surprise. The soldiers knew that they had to strike quickly and decisively. Time was running out. The first mission was clear: infiltrate the alien motherships and disable their communications network, cutting off their ability to coordinate the assault. If they could do this, it would give Earth's remaining forces a fighting chance. But the soldiers knew it wouldn't be easy. The alien vessels were heavily fortified, and any mistake could mean their death. The tension was unbearable as the soldiers, cloaked and invisible to the alien forces, began their journey. They moved silently through the dark, knowing that the smallest sound or misstep could alert the enemy. As they neared the alien ships, their heart rates quickened, but they remained focused. The survival of humanity rested on their shoulders, and they would not fail. The clock was ticking, and Earth's fate hung in the balance. The aliens had no idea what was coming for them. They thought victory was assured. But in the shadows, humanity's last hope was rising. The battle for Earth was about to enter its final phase, and the soldiers knew they would stop at nothing to ensure the survival of their species. As the first wave of attacks was about to begin, the soldiers held their breath. Everything hinged on this moment. The mission, the lives of millions, and the future of Earth rested on their ability to outsmart and outfight an enemy that had never once considered the possibility of defeat. In the silence before the storm, one thing was clear: humanity was not going down without a fight. This war was far from over. And for the first time in a long while, there was hope. The elite squad emerged from the shadows of Earth's underground facility, ready to launch their attack. Leading them was Ghost, a soldier whose name struck fear into the hearts of even the most battle-hardened warriors. Ghost wasn't just a soldier. He was a living legend. He had been part of the resistance for as long as anyone could remember, having fought in countless wars across the galaxy. His past was a dark, turbulent one, filled with memories of lost friends, failed missions, and unrelenting enemies. But through it all, he had survived. Ghost's face was marked with the scars of war, and his eyes, cold and calculating, showed no sign of fear. He had faced down the worst that the universe had to offer. And yet, this battle was different. The stakes had never been higher. His mission was clear: infiltrate the alien motherships, disrupt their command systems, and give Earth's forces a fighting chance. But even Ghost wasn't sure if they could pull it off. He stood in front of his team, a group of soldiers unlike any other. These were the best of the best, handpicked from the elite ranks of Earth's military. Each one was unique, bringing their own set of skills, strengths, and weaknesses to the squad. But they were united by one thing: the will to fight for humanity's survival. There was Riker, the sniper known for his precision and calm under pressure. His aim was unmatched, and his ability to take down enemies from a distance made him a valuable asset. Then there was Maya, the tech specialist. She could hack into the most advanced alien systems with ease, disrupting their communications and weakening their defenses. With her, Earth's technology seemed to have an edge. Jax, the heavy weapons expert, was always at the forefront of any firefight. His massive frame and unyielding strength made him a force to be reckoned with. And finally, there was Bonner, the youngest member of the team, but with a heart full of courage and determination. He was still finding his place in this world of war, but his drive to prove himself was unwavering. Together, they were humanity's last line of defense, armed with advanced technology, including invisibility cloaks that rendered them nearly undetectable. They were the perfect force for this covert operation. They also carried quantum hacking tools, small, highly sophisticated devices that could infiltrate alien systems and disrupt their technology. These tools allowed them to shut down energy shields, jam communications, and even disable weapon systems, all of which were vital to the success of their mission. But as powerful as these tools were, the real strength of the team came from their unbreakable bond. They were family. They had fought together for years, and each one knew what the others were capable of. Ghost knew that no matter what happened, his team would have his back, just as he would have theirs. The first phase of their mission was to infiltrate an alien base on a nearby moon. The base was heavily guarded, and it was one of the few remaining strongholds where the aliens were making their final push to crush Earth's defenses. The team had to strike quickly and silently, planting explosives on key systems that would cripple the alien infrastructure. The mission was critical. If they failed, Earth's forces would be at the mercy of the invaders. As the squad made their way through the barren moon's surface, the tension was palpable. The cloak generators hummed quietly as they moved in unison, their movements fluid and coordinated. Not a word was spoken, but each soldier knew their role. Ghost led the way, his sharp eyes scanning the area for any signs of alien patrols. Riker stayed behind, watching their backs, ready to take out any threat from a distance. Maya was at the center of the group, her eyes constantly on her tech as she hacked into alien systems, creating distractions and disabling defenses. Jax carried the heavy artillery, always prepared for close combat. Bonner, though young, was at the front with Ghost, eager to prove himself. They reached the base undetected, their cloaks keeping them hidden from the alien sensors. But as they entered the facility, the unexpected happened. An alien patrol stumbled upon them, triggering an alarm. Within moments, the base was on high alert. The sound of alien footsteps echoed through the corridors, and the squad found themselves surrounded. Without hesitation, Ghost signaled to his team. Riker took the first shot, eliminating the nearest alien guard before they could raise the alarm. Jax moved forward, clearing the way with explosive rounds from his heavy gun. Maya quickly hacked into the alien security system, disabling the door locks and creating an escape route. But just as the team thought they had control, the aliens revealed something they hadn't anticipated. An elite squad of alien warriors, equipped with advanced combat armor and weapons, had been stationed within the base. The battle was fierce. Ghost and his team fought with everything they had, but the alien warriors were unlike anything they had faced before. They were faster, stronger, and their armor absorbed most of the team's firepower. Bonner, despite his inexperience, threw himself into the fray, determined to prove his worth. He fought valiantly, taking down several aliens with his combat knife and energy pistol. But in the chaos, disaster struck. Bonner, who had been positioned near the front of the squad, was caught off guard by a surprise attack. An alien warrior, faster than any of them anticipated, slammed into him, knocking him to the ground. Bonner fought back with every ounce of strength he had, but the alien's blade found its mark, striking deep into his side. He fell, gasping for breath as the blood pooled around him. Ghost rushed to his side, but there was nothing he could do. Bonner's body convulsed, and the life drained from his eyes. Ghost's heart ached as he watched another comrade fall. This wasn't just a loss of a soldier, it was a loss of a friend, a brother. Ghost felt the weight of the moment, the crushing guilt of knowing that no matter how hard he fought, he couldn't save them all. The team pressed on, but the mood had shifted. The loss of Bonner hung heavy over them, but they couldn't afford to stop. The mission was still in motion, and Earth's survival depended on them. Ghost clenched his fists, vowing that Bonner's sacrifice would not be in vain. They fought their way to the central control room of the base, where they planted the explosives that would disable the alien systems. But as they prepared to leave, the alien forces launched a counterattack. It was their final chance to stop the humans from crippling their operations. The soldiers fought back with every last ounce of strength, their bodies bruised and battered, but they knew they had to finish the mission. In the midst of the chaos, Ghost's mind raced. He thought about Bonner, about the family he had lost in the fight. He thought about Earth and the future they were fighting for. This battle wasn't just about survival. It was about preserving everything humanity had built. It was about the people they loved, the world they had lost, and the future they could still save. With a final, desperate push, the team managed to escape the base, their mission a success. But the victory was bittersweet. Bonner was gone, and the cost of the mission was high. Ghost looked around at his team, bloodied, bruised, but still standing. They had lost one of their own, but they had also gained something priceless: hope. The alien forces had underestimated humanity, and now they would learn the true meaning of resistance. With cloaking devices activated, the team moved like shadows, unseen and unheard, slipping past alien patrols and deep into enemy territory. Their mission was simple yet incredibly dangerous. They needed to infiltrate the command center, plant explosives on the central power core, and disrupt the alien forces' ability to communicate and coordinate their attacks. If they succeeded, it could be the turning point in the war. If they failed, it would be humanity's final stand. The alien command center was heavily guarded, surrounded by towering walls and automated defenses. But these soldiers weren't just any humans. They were the best of the best, equipped with the latest technology that had once been out of reach. Their cloaking devices allowed them to slip through the alien defenses unnoticed, and their hacking tools rendered the automated security systems useless. But still, they were walking into the heart of the beast, where every move had to be calculated. As they moved deeper into the heart of the base, the silence was almost deafening. The only sounds were the soft hum of their cloaking devices and the sound of their breathing, steady but heavy with anticipation. Ghost led the way, his senses sharp as ever. His mind was focused, blocking out the grief of losing Bonner, as he knew the only way to honor his sacrifice was to complete the mission. But as they neared the central chamber, all hell broke loose. The aliens had anticipated a possible infiltration, and they had set a trap. As Ghost and his team reached the control room, a sudden alarm rang out. The cloaking devices had been compromised, and the enemy was on full alert. In a split second, the base was flooded with alien soldiers, their weapons drawn and ready for battle. Ghost's heart raced, and he signaled to his team. The element of surprise was gone, and they were now forced into a brutal firefight. The team fought with everything they had. Riker took high ground, picking off alien soldiers from a distance with deadly precision. Maya worked frantically, hacking into the alien systems and causing explosions to take out reinforcements as they arrived. Jax was at the front, wielding heavy firepower to mow down enemy soldiers and create openings for the team. But the alien soldiers were relentless, pouring into the room in waves. It was during this intense firefight that Bonner, the youngest member of the squad, made his final, heroic sacrifice. He saw the alien platoon advancing, and with no time to spare, he made a decision that would define him as a soldier. Grabbing a set of explosives, he charged directly into the alien lines, using his body to shield the others as he detonated the bombs. The explosion was massive, taking out the platoon and giving his team the opening they desperately needed. But the cost was too high. Bonner's life was lost in the blast, and as his body fell, the team's resolve was only hardened. Ghost felt the sting of his loss more deeply than anyone could understand. Bonner had been like a little brother to him, a young man who had shown promise and courage. His sacrifice had saved them, but it also tore at Ghost's heart. The grief was unbearable, but in that moment he knew he couldn't stop. He had to honor Bonner's death by finishing this fight. His resolve solidified, and his rage burned hotter than ever. The aliens had taken so much from them already, but they wouldn't take Earth without a fight. With the alien platoon neutralized, the team pushed forward to the heart of the command center. They planted the explosives on the power core and triggered them. The base shook as the explosion ripped through the structure, disabling the alien command systems. Communications went down, and for the first time, the alien invaders were thrown into disarray. They couldn't coordinate their forces, and chaos spread through their ranks. But Ghost knew they couldn't stop there. The alien leadership had already realized that humanity wasn't just fighting back. They were adapting to their technology. The humans were no longer the helpless underdogs they had once been. They had learned to use the alien tech against them, and now the invaders were scrambling to contain the damage. The alien command quickly called for reinforcements, but the humans were already a step ahead. Ghost's team had planted more explosives and set traps across the base, targeting critical systems like energy shields and war machines. The human forces had developed new weapons too, using alien tech to disable enemy ships and disrupt their war machines. Every strike, every move, seemed to land a fatal blow to the invaders. It wasn't long before the first orbital bombardment was launched. Humanity's forces had learned how to tap into the alien orbital weapon systems, using them to strike at the alien fleets. The bombardment was swift and devastating. Alien ships exploded in the sky as the humans' precision targeting systems took out their fleets one by one. The sheer power of the strike sent shockwaves through the alien forces, and for the first time, the invaders were on the defensive. The aliens, who had once seemed invincible, were now scrambling to regroup. They had underestimated humanity's resilience, and now they were paying the price. The humans were no longer a minor threat. They had become a force to be reckoned with. But it wasn't just the alien fleet that was in chaos. Alien ground forces were also in disarray. The soldiers, used to fighting inferior races, were now facing an enemy that was using their own technology against them. The aliens tried to call for reinforcements, but Earth's forces were already picking them off one by one. Every victory the humans achieved only fueled their determination. Ghost stood among the wreckage, breathing heavily, his heart still heavy with the loss of Bonner. But as the team regrouped, they knew that this was only the beginning. They had dealt the aliens a massive blow, but the war was far from over. Ghost's mind raced as he thought about the next move. They had a chance to win, to take back their world. But it would require more than just brute force. It would require strategy, intelligence, and unwavering resolve. The aliens had underestimated humanity before, but they would soon learn that Earth would never surrender. The fight was far from over, and with each passing day, the humans were getting stronger. They had taken the first major step toward victory, and now they would keep pushing forward, no matter the cost. The war had turned, and this time, humanity would be the ones who would have the final say. Ghost looked at his team, his family, his brothers and sisters in arms. They were battered, bruised, and scarred, but they were still standing. And that was all that mattered. They had survived the worst, and now they would make sure the aliens would never forget what it meant to fight against humanity. The time had come. Ghost and his team were standing at the edge of humanity's final stand. The alien mothership, the massive ship that had been hovering ominously in Earth's skies for days, was now their target. This was it, the moment when humanity would either rise victorious or fall into the abyss of extinction. There would be no more waiting, no more hiding. It was time to bring the fight to the heart of the alien invasion and take down the mothership that had become the symbol of humanity's last hope. Ghost looked at his team, their faces set with determination. They had come so far, surviving unimaginable odds, watching comrades fall, and fighting every step of the way. Now, they were about to face their greatest challenge yet, infiltrating the alien mothership and ending this war once and for all. They knew the stakes were higher than ever before. If they failed, Earth would be lost forever. But if they succeeded, they would give humanity the chance it so desperately needed. The team moved swiftly, cloaked and unseen, as they made their way toward the outer defenses of the mothership. The sheer size of the ship was overwhelming, a sprawling fortress in space, brimming with alien technology and danger. The alien forces had done everything they could to protect their mothership, knowing that its destruction would mean the end of their invasion. But Ghost's team had come prepared. They had infiltrated alien bases before, outsmarted their defenses, and fought through waves of enemies. This time, however, the stakes were much higher. They were no longer fighting for survival. They were fighting for the future of humanity. As they approached the outer defense perimeter, the team could feel the pressure building. Every move had to be precise, every decision critical. They had no room for error. The alien mothership was a fortress, surrounded by automated security systems and advanced eye-controlled defenses. But with their cloaking devices activated, they slipped past the outer defenses unnoticed, moving silently as shadows in the dark. Inside the mothership, the team encountered a series of deadly traps, designed to prevent any intruders from reaching the heart of the ship. There were laser grids, motion sensors, and automated turrets, each one more dangerous than the last. But Ghost and his team had trained for this. They had fought in countless battles, and they knew how to handle pressure. With every step, the tension grew. The air seemed to hum with the energy of the alien systems, and every sound echoed through the metallic corridors like a warning. They made their way through the labyrinthine interior of the mothership, encountering alien robots that moved with deadly precision, their glowing eyes scanning for any sign of human presence. The robots were fast, powerful, and relentless, but the human soldiers were faster. Riker, with his unmatched aim, picked off the robots from a distance, while Maya hacked into the alien systems, shutting down security measures and opening doors that led deeper into the ship. Jax provided cover, his heavy firepower keeping the enemies at bay as they pushed forward. But the deeper they went, the more intense the resistance became. The AI-controlled security systems were not just machines. They were intelligent, capable of adapting to the humans' tactics and countering their moves. Every corner they turned seemed to bring them face to face with a new threat. The deeper they went, the more it felt like the mothership itself was fighting against them, as if the ship's eye was aware of their presence and determined to stop them at all costs. The team pressed on, refusing to be deterred. They had come this far, and they weren't about to turn back now. Ghost led the charge, his mind focused on the mission ahead. He couldn't afford to think about the loss of his comrades or the weight of the world on his shoulders. All that mattered now was the next step, the next move that would bring them closer to the heart of the mothership. And then they found it. The central chamber, the heart of the alien invasion. It was a vast, open space, filled with rows of alien technology and machinery, each one humming with power. At the center of the room stood the AI overlord, the entity that controlled the entire alien force. This was the being responsible for orchestrating the invasion of Earth, the one who had masterminded the destruction of cities and the deaths of millions. Now, Ghost and his team were standing face to face with the source of all their suffering. The AI overlord was not a physical being but a complex network of machines and algorithms, a consciousness that existed within the ship's core. It spoke through a series of voices, its tone cold and detached. It had anticipated the humans' attempt to infiltrate the mothership and had prepared for this moment. The final showdown was at hand. Ghost's team stepped forward, weapons raised, ready for the battle of their lives. The AI overlord activated its defense mechanisms, and suddenly, the room was filled with a swarm of alien machines, robots, drones, and sentries, all under the control of the AI. The battle was fierce. Ghost and his team fought valiantly, their movements precise and calculated as they took on wave after wave of enemy machines. The sound of gunfire and clashing metal filled the air. But the AI overlord's forces kept coming, relentless and unstoppable. Then the AI itself spoke. "You are futile. You cannot defeat me. You are mere insects in my domain." Ghost gritted his teeth, his anger rising. He had heard enough. The AI had taken so much from them. So many lives, so many sacrifices. And now it was time to put an end to it. He signaled his team to hold their ground, then charged forward, determined to face the AI head-on. The battle with the AI overlord was unlike any other. The AI used every trick in the book, shifting its forces and adapting to the humans' every move. It wasn't just a machine. It was a cold, calculating entity, capable of outthinking and outmaneuvering them at every turn. Ghost was nearly overwhelmed. His body was bruised, his energy fading. But he fought on, driven by the memory of his fallen comrades and the fate of Earth hanging in the balance. As the battle raged on, Ghost found himself face to face with the AI overlord in a final one-on-one confrontation. The AI's voice echoed in the chamber, mocking him. "You are nothing. You cannot defeat me." But Ghost refused to back down. His fists clenched, his mind focused. He remembered Bonner, Riker, Maya, and all the others who had fought beside him. They had come so far, and now it was up to him to finish what they had started. With every ounce of strength he had left, Ghost fought with everything he had. The battle was brutal. The AI overlord used its control over the ship to try and overwhelm him, sending wave after wave of drones and automated defenses to stop him. But Ghost was determined. He had come this far, and he wouldn't let the AI win. In the final moments of the battle, Ghost sought his opportunity. He dove toward the core of the AI's control system, his weapon raised. With one last, powerful strike, he brought the AI overlord to its knees, shattering its control over the mothership and disabling its defenses. The room fell silent. The AI overlord was defeated, but the cost had been high. Ghost was exhausted, battered, and bruised, but as he stood there, breathing heavily, he knew they had done it. The alien invasion was over. Earth had been saved. The reckoning had come. Humanity had fought back, and against all odds they had won. The air in the alien mothership was thick with tension as Ghost stood face to face with the alien commander. This was the moment, the final duel between humanity's last hope and the mastermind behind the alien invasion. The alien commander towered over him, its cold, metallic form a stark contrast to the human soldiers who had fought so hard to get this far. The AI overlord's last command echoed in Ghost's mind. "You cannot defeat us." But Ghost was no longer concerned with words. His eyes locked onto the alien commander, and with a swift motion, he launched himself into battle. Every move was calculated, every strike filled with years of rage, grief, and the unwavering desire to protect Earth. The alien commander was fast, its advanced technology making it a formidable opponent, but Ghost was quicker, fueled by the strength of his fallen comrades and the survival of humanity itself. The battle raged on. Blades clashed, sparks flying as the two combatants fought with relentless intensity. Ghost's heart pounded in his chest, the weight of the world bearing down on him. The alien commander was powerful, but Ghost was driven by something far stronger. With one final, explosive move, he lunged forward, driving his weapon deep into the heart of the alien commander. The creature let out a screech, its body crumpling to the floor as its life force drained away. But as the alien commander fell, a horrifying sound echoed throughout the mothership, a countdown. The AI overlord had initiated the ship's self-destruct sequence. Time was running out. The victory, hard won and long sought, was overshadowed by the looming threat of the ship's imminent explosion. The countdown timer flashed in red across every screen, ticking down with ruthless precision. Ghost's mind raced. They had moments to escape, and the mothership was no longer a battlefield but a ticking bomb. He turned to his team, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. "We need to move. Now." The team sprang into action. They had fought together, bled together, and now they had to escape together. The alien forces, though leaderless, were still active. As the self-destruct sequence continued to count down, the team faced one last wave of resistance. Alien drones, robotic soldiers, and automated turrets flooded the corridors, each one trying to stop them from reaching the escape pods. The pace of the battle was frenetic. Gunfire echoed as the team fought their way through the twisting halls of the mothership, each soldier pushing their bodies to the limit. Riker took position, covering the team's rear as they moved. His sniper rifle was a deadly extension of his will, picking off alien forces with terrifying precision. Jax, with his heavy artillery, blasted away at any enemies that dared approach. Maya, Ever the technician hacked into the ship's systems, using the alien tech against them, creating pathways where there were none. Ghost, however, was focused on one thing: getting them out alive. His eyes constantly flickered to the countdown timer, his pulse matching its every tick. The further they went, the more the ship seemed to be fighting back, the corridors narrowing, the lights flickering, and the air growing thicker with smoke and debris. But then, as they neared the final escape pods, an explosion shook the ship. A large section of the corridor collapsed in front of them, blocking their path. The team was forced to fight their way through yet another wave of alien robots and drones that seemed to be coming from every direction. The chaos intensified. The escape pods were in sight, but they were still too far away. Ghost's heart raced as he looked back at his team, urging them to keep moving. They had fought through so much already. They couldn't stop now. And then, as they neared the final door to the escape pods, they encountered a new obstacle. Markov, one of the team's toughest soldiers, turned to Ghost with a look of determination. "I'll stay behind. You all get out." Ghost's heart sank. "No, Markov. We do this together." But Markov shook his head, his face set in grim resolve. "The self-destruct sequence, it's too close. I can't let you all die because of me. I'll disable the core. You need to go. Now." Before Ghost could protest, Markov was already moving, rushing back toward the control room. His decision was final. He was going to make sure the rest of them could escape, no matter the cost. Ghost's voice caught in his throat as he watched Markov disappear into the smoke, his heart heavy with the weight of the sacrifice his comrade was about to make. The remaining soldiers, knowing that time was running out, didn't hesitate. They rushed to the escape pods, launching them one by one. The countdown timer continued to tick down, each second feeling like an eternity. Ghost's mind raced, his heart torn between the need to escape and the painful knowledge that Markov was sacrificing himself to save them all. The escape pods launched, flying into the void of space as the alien mothership began to tremble. Ghost stared out of the window, watching as the massive ship began to break apart, its death throes tearing through the hull. A bright flash lit up the sky, followed by a shockwave that rocked the escape pods. The explosion was massive, blinding, all-encompassing. The team had made it. They had escaped. But the victory felt hollow. They had won the battle, but at what cost? The destruction of the mothership had also meant the destruction of the alien fleet, but the loss of Markov weighed heavily on Ghost and the rest of the team. They had survived, but they had lost one of their own in the process. Markov's sacrifice had ensured their escape, but it had left a hole in their hearts that would never be filled. The team was silent as they drifted in space, staring at the debris that had once been the alien mothership. The fleet was gone. The war was over. Humanity had won. But the victory was bittersweet. The cost had been high, and the survivors knew it. Ghost looked at his team, his eyes filled with sorrow and pride. They had lost so many along the way, but they had kept fighting. They had fought for Earth. They had fought for the future. And now, as they floated in the vastness of space, surrounded by the remnants of their enemies, they knew one thing for sure: humanity had endured. They had faced impossible odds, but they had survived. And in the end, that was what mattered. The sky above Earth was clear, the stars twinkling peacefully in the void of space. The alien invaders had been repelled, their fleet destroyed, and their empire shattered. It was over. The war that had threatened to consume humanity had come to an end, and the world was finally free. The first rays of dawn touched the planet's surface as life began to return to normal. Cities once ravaged by war were starting to rebuild, and the people of Earth, though scared by the horrors they had faced, were determined to recover. For the soldiers who had fought so bravely to protect humanity, there was little time for celebration. They were welcomed back as heroes, their names forever etched into the history of Earth. Parades were held in their honor, and monuments were erected to remember their sacrifices. But for Ghost and his team, the victory was bittersweet. Their minds were heavy with the memories of those they had lost. Bonner, Markov, and countless others who had given everything for the survival of humanity. Ghost had led them through the fires of war, but now, standing on the quiet streets of Earth, he felt the weight of the world. The city around him buzzed with life, but his mind was far away. The faces of the soldiers who had fallen, their voices still echoing in his mind, haunted him. No matter how much the world celebrated, the cost of victory was something he would never forget. He made his way through the crowd, moving toward a place of quiet reflection. It was a memorial, a place where the fallen were honored. Ghost had visited this spot many times before, but today it felt different. Today it felt heavier. He stopped in front of the plaque that bore the names of those who had died in the final battle. Bonner's name was there. Markov's name was there. And so many others, names of soldiers who had given their all for a cause greater than themselves. Ghost's heart tightened as he placed a hand on the cold stone. He remembered Bonner's bravery, how he had fought fiercely until his last breath, giving his life to take down the alien platoon. He remembered Markov's sacrifice, how he had stayed behind to disable the self-destruct system, ensuring the mission's success. Both men had been warriors, and their spirits lived on in the fight they had started. Ghost's thoughts drifted back to the battlefield, to the moments when everything had seemed lost. The battle had been brutal, but the team had pushed through. They had won, but at such a great cost. As he stood there, Ghost reflected on the journey they had all taken together. It had started with uncertainty, with humanity facing an enemy far stronger and more advanced than they could have imagined. But the soldiers had adapted. They had fought back. They had turned the tide of the war, using every weapon at their disposal: cloaking devices, quantum hacking tools, and deadly combat drones. They had shown the aliens that humanity was not to be underestimated. The alien forces had never anticipated that Earth would rise up and fight. But fight they had, and they had won. But the cost had been staggering. Ghost's eyes lingered on the names of the fallen. Each one had been a comrade, a friend. Their sacrifices were not lost on him. He knew that Earth's victory was built on the blood of those who had given everything. They had been soldiers, but they had also been human. They had loved, they had laughed, and they had dreamed. And in the end, they had fought to protect those dreams. As the sun set on the horizon, casting a golden light over the memorial, Ghost felt a sense of peace wash over him. The war was over. The invaders were gone. But the scars would remain, not just on the land, but in the hearts of those who had fought. The world would rebuild, and humanity would rise from the ashes, stronger than before. But the memories of the fallen would never fade. In the quiet of the memorial, Ghost looked up at the sky. The stars seemed to shine brighter than ever. And for a moment, he allowed himself to imagine a future without war, a future where Earth could thrive, where the scars of the past would heal, and where humanity could move forward. He turned away from the memorial, but as he did, a sound caught his attention, a soft beeping. It was coming from the communication device on his wrist. Ghost's brow furrowed as he activated the device, expecting it to be a routine update. But as the message came through, his heart skipped a beat. The voice on the other end was cold, alien, and ominous. Earth may have won today, the voice said, its tone dripping with malice. But we are not the only ones watching. The war is not over. Ghost's blood ran cold as the message ended. His mind raced. Who was this new enemy? How had they known about Earth's victory? He had thought that the worst was behind them, but now, as he stood there, he realized that humanity's survival was still in jeopardy. The war was not over. It had only just begun. He looked up at the stars again, the weight of the message settling over him. The galaxy was vast, and Earth had only just begun to prove its strength. The message had been clear. Earth was not the only player in this war. There were other forces out there, watching, waiting. And now, humanity's fight for survival was far from over. The peace that had seemed so certain only moments ago now felt fragile, as if it could shatter at any moment. Ghost clenched his fist, his jaw set in determination. He had led his team through hell, and they had emerged victorious. But this new threat was unlike anything they had faced before. He wasn't sure what the future held, but one thing was clear: humanity would fight on. As he stood there, staring into the vastness of space, Ghost knew that the journey was far from over. The war had only just begun, and humanity would face challenges that would test them in ways they couldn't yet comprehend. But they had one thing that no enemy could take away: hope. The same hope that had driven them to victory in the first place. The same hope that would carry them through whatever came next. And with that, Ghost turned away from the memorial, his mind focused on the challenges ahead. The fight was far from over, but humanity had proven that they were a force to be reckoned with, and Ghost would make sure they never forgot that.